What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are all having an amazing day so far. It's Caden here with Coach Hayward, and today we're going to be talking about my 7-day food strategy on how I simply lost 30 pounds without doing any crazy restrictive dieting, without cutting out my carbs completely, and without doing any added cardio, abs, or anything like that. How did I lose 30 pounds without giving up restaurants and drinking or whatever it may be? Today we're going to talk about how exactly I did that with my 7-day food strategy. Okay, I recommend this for a lot of people who, definitely if you're single, if you're looking for something quite robotic slash like easy for you to follow along. If you don't feel like counting calories all the time or anything like that, so I recommend to people like that. So basically how this works, we'll jump right into it. The idea behind it is basically how like most people, if you look at most people in their lives, they typically have like very similar meals that they usually eat on a weekly basis. It's just more so switched around, right? It's not the same things every single week, but it's more so like, okay, our family typically eats tuna casserole, we have chicken and potatoes, we have steaks here and there, or pork chops, little things like that. At least my family's like that, and most of my friends and everybody I know growing up was like that as well. Is most of the time we have 7 different meals or so, or maybe 10 that we typically eat, and that's it. And then it's just kind of switched around, rotated. So the idea behind it is that if you can get those 7 meals, different meals and days on track in a way that is aligned with your goals, and that way it's sustainable for you, it's enjoyable, and also you can make the progress you want. Okay, all you gotta do is make some proper switches with those little bit of meals, and that's all you gotta do. So this is exactly what I did when it comes to my weight loss. So I was on a bulk, okay, and I bulked up to about 222 pounds. And then I switched over. I was okay. My goals were I want to drop body fat percentage and I want to preserve my muscle mass as much as possible. Okay. So how I did this is basically I was already meal prepping, so I meal prep every single Sunday, and I meal prep my lunch, and I'll meal prep the carbs for my supper, and that's it. Okay. I cook my steaks and stuff, my meat fresh on for supper, and then I also cook my breakfast every single morning as well. All I did when it came to losing weight is I was eating about 3,800 calories because I was on a bulk before, and then I cut my calories down to about 2,500 calories. Okay, so I cut it down. I think I started around 2,700 or so, and I cut it down 3 sections. I cut it down to I think 2,700 or so, kept it there for a little bit, and then I cut it down to 2,500 calories, and then I cut it down to about 2,500 calories still, like a little bit more of adjustment. Okay. And so I'll explain how I did that though. So ultimately, what I did is I just on the system that we use for our clients to create our meal plans, I just went on there and I created my own meal plan for myself. What foods do I typically want to eat? Monday to Sunday. So 7 different days of different meals or whatever it may be. Myself, I'm very robotic. So that means, one sec, I gotta get a drink of water here. That means that I don't mind eating very similar meals because that's just the way I am. I don't, live to eat. I eat so I can live. Okay, so I don't really care too much about meals and flavor and all of that. It's just not a thing for me. So for me, it's very robotic. I just ate very similar meals. But what you can do, so for example, I eat the same things every single day. But what you can do is you can switch it up. So instead of having, chicken and rice every single day, which I've done for literally like a year straight now, you can have like chicken one day, and then you can have ground beef the next day, and then you can have pork or whatever it may be. Like you can switch out your proteins and your carbs and your fats and stuff for different kind of fats and proteins and carbs, because that way, it's enjoyable for you. It's something that you can stick with. Just know though that it's just going to take a little more time for preparation when you are meal prepping on that Sunday or whatever day that works for you. Okay. So ultimately, I had 7 different days though, and all these meals in place, and I just ate at the same times every day. I eat the same amount. I eat and the same like amount as in like 3 meals a day or whatever that may be. Okay, so this way, when I went to losing weight, all I had to do was cut back on my portions. So mostly what I did was I cut back on my rice intake. So like I cut back on my carbs mostly. I cut little bits out of every single day. Okay. And then I would cut out a little bit like in my breakfast. So if I was eating 4 eggs, maybe I'd go down to 3 eggs. So yeah, a little less protein, but we're cutting down the calories. I already eat enough protein already, so I was perfectly set. So by doing that out of each and every day, it allowed me to go into a deficit so I'd start losing weight. Now, whenever I got to a plateau, anything like that, all I did was go into my portions, go into my 7 different days. Okay, I'd make any swaps or whatever, and I just cut back on the portions a little bit more. Do up my meal plan. There we go. I set it. Did it for the week. I'm good to go again. And I kept losing weight, kept making progress. It was so easy. I didn't have to think about it. It just took me a little bit of time every single week, like 1 time per week, and that's it. And I knew I was aligned with my goals. And guess what? I could still eat on the weekends. I still made sure that I cut extra calories throughout the week, had high protein to keep myself full, so that way I'm not getting cravings or anything like that. And on the weekend, I could go to a restaurant with my girlfriend, 1 or 2 times a week. Okay, and I'm cool with that. I love that. So ultimately, I could actually enjoy myself, enjoy those meals, or whatever I wanted to do that day. It was totally up to me. Okay, and it would be still on my goals. So that was like super sustainable for me. So that's what I did there. And then the next thing is whenever you get bored of the food that you're eating, all you gotta do now that everything's already set up for yourself is you go into your meal planning and again, you just look at what do you want to swap out. Okay, I'm getting a little bored of chicken here, so I'm gonna start eating salmon. So you just take out the chicken, just Google. Okay, so look at I guess first look at how many calories you're having of chicken. All right, so I'm having 250 calories worth of chicken for this meal. So I'm going to Google how many ounces is 250 calories worth of salmon. And it'll tell me, okay, it's this many ounces. Boom. I go to the store when I meal prep. I get that. I weigh it out or I use it by kilograms to ounces and I do it up and I add that into my meal prep. So now I'm eating salmon instead of chicken, so I'm not getting bored. Okay. And boom, there you go. The biggest thing here is consistency, okay, and building the mental callus to stay disciplined to make sure that you're meal prepping and staying on track with your eating. The things that you can do to set yourself up for success is take control of your schedule, okay? Know when you're going to get this done, okay? What realistically are some times that you can get this done with nothing else getting in your way, okay? Because you have that power. You can control that as much as possible. Try to control that. So that's the biggest thing there is actually writing it down, having a proper routine slash schedule. The number two is sticking to your promises, building that discipline. Okay, building that discipline. Make it so it's not overwhelming at first. Make it so it's quite easy for you to do, and just build the habit. Get into the routine of it, and make sure you get it done. Stick to your promise because the more you stick to your promises, the easier it is to keep going and stay consistent. Okay. So that's the biggest things is you just need to build a mental callus to stay consistent with it, to keep on track, get those meals in. And number one is making sure that you're actually making the time for it and adding into your routine and schedule. Okay. And if you can do that, then you're going to be totally set. So again, let's do a quick review. The first thing you do, 7 different days, different meals if you want. If you like variety, you can have different foods in those days, whatever the type of personality you are, type of person you are. Once you have your 7 different days made up on your meal plan, so yes, of course, it takes a little time at first, but once you do it once, you're set, okay, and you're all good. So you have that plan made up of 7 different days. Then you follow that. If you don't lose any weight that week and you know that you're eating enough food, so you're not, eating 1,200 calories or anything like that, then you can take out a little bit of your portions in each and every day. Not a bunch from one day or anything like that, so that way it's not sustainable. Just a little bit from every day. Okay, that's all you need. All you need. Like for me, when I was cutting back from 2,700 calories to about 2,500 calories a day, I just cut out my oils. I cut out some milk that I was drinking. And that's basically it. Like it's just a little bit of changes can cause some drastic results. I promise you. Like again, I didn't do any added cardio. I actually reduced my training so that way I could recover better because I was in a deficit. So I want to preserve my muscle mass and I don't want to work it too hard because then it can get eaten up. Okay. You don't want to train too hard if you're not eating enough calories to preserve it. Okay. So I actually cut back a little bit on my training and I literally just cut back on my portions and I was able to lose that weight. I didn't think about it. I didn't stress about the scale. I wasn't obsessed with my food or calories. It was all done up for me because I knew, okay, this is going to help me hit my goal. All I got to do is just got to make sure I follow it. And I just got to make sure I prep my meals and get it done. And that's it. Those were my only 2 things. Eat the meals, okay, make sure they're prepped and ready to go and just stick with it. And that's it. So again, 7 different days of different meals on your written down meal plan, whatever it may be. Okay. And then when it comes to the portions, if you don't lose weight that week, or let's say if you're a lady going through menopause or hormone changes, maybe give it 2+ weeks or so just to test it, see how your body is. And if you don't lose weight, again, make little adjustments, cut out 100 calories, 200 calories maybe, try it again for a week. If you don't lose anything, keep adjusting those portions, keep cutting a little bit back. Don't do any drastic changes, just a little bit, and that'll help you tremendously. And then again, when you get bored of your food and you want to switch up the food, just go in, take a protein for another protein, take a carb for another carb, take a fat for a fat. Okay, you don't really have to worry about fats, but protein for protein, carb for a carb. Okay. I'm getting a little sick of rice. I'm gonna put potatoes in. I'm getting a little sick of potatoes. I'm gonna add sweet potatoes in. I'm getting a little bit of, don't want that, quinoa. So a little carb for a carb, just switching that out and making sure the calories are still aligned. And if you do that, that way you're not going to get bored. And again, just stay consistent with it. You just got to stay consistent with it and stay on track with it. Build that mental callus, that consistency, because that's really most of the results, and that's how you make a change, is by sticking with it. But again, that's pretty much it. Okay, very very similar. Very simple. If you guys have any questions on that, or need a better explanation or anything, just comment down below and I can explain it again to you. And if you want some help with this and you want a custom plan done up for you where you don't have to worry about the calories, macros, or making sure it's sustainable, then just let me know and we can help out with that for sure. And just message me CH, I guess, for details. But other than that, that's exactly how I lost 30 pounds. Okay, again, nothing crazy. No extra training. You don't need to do, 6, 7 times a week. I work out 5 times a week. You can do 3 times a week. That's totally fine. But you don't need to make these crazy changes to get drastic results. I promise you that. Okay? So that's training for today, everybody. I hope this helps you. Crush it. Start today for a better tomorrow. If you need any help, I'm always here for you. And if you made it this far, drop down below in the comments a smiley face or like the emoji with the glasses to see who, I want to see who's paying attention. All right? I'll see you all later and have a great day.